time if I need to, but not too much time. There were prompts, and it said to you, outside of a pen, paper, and courage, the only thing you need to bring with you is a story from your life that you're willing to share. And so it says, here are the prompts to choose. Pick one. And so these were the prompts that you were given. War veteran Tim O'Brien states, a true war story is never about the war. They're about stories of love, memory, laughter, or sorrow. In other words, war is abstract. We are all veterans of wars in our lives and in our culture. War comes in many forms. A war against laundry, a war against a boyfriend or girlfriend, or maybe even a war within yourself. Tell your own personal war story. So that was one prompt. The other prompt, what story can you tell about when you realized how race mattered to you? Another prompt, tell a story about a moment when you in some way confronted or were confronted with a piece of your own identity. You might consider the core cultural identifiers such as race, gender, religion, sexuality, age, ethnicity, ability. However, you may also wish to consider other identifiers like being a mother, being a vegetarian, or being a sister, being a teacher, being a widow. There's another prompt that says, tell a story that shows how you deliberately sacrificed, surrendered, or forfeited something in a way that highlights your personal values. Another prompt is, sometimes we're caught between colliding cultures, national, regional, ethnic, religious, racial, sexual, environmental, or institutional. Such collisions can call our sense of identity into question. Think of a story from your life in which you responded to such a cultural collision and what you gained from the experience. Another prompt, what story would you tell about the environment, you and your relationship with the environment? And the environment doesn't necessarily mean climate-wise. Environment could mean your at-home environment. It can mean your school environment. And then the last prompt says, too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, or an honest compliment, all of which have the potential to turn a life around. Now tell a story from your life when you first witnessed or participated in an act of compassion. Your story can be anchored in joy, pain, embarrassment. There is no right story, okay? As long as you speak from your heart, you will be successful. There is no one story. While typical narrative four-story exchanges take place over days, weeks, and months, we'll ask that you take time into interest. And so that's why we said 5 to 7 minutes, okay? So hopefully that's what your personal statements are based off. If your personal statements are not based off of those things, try to, in the next 5 minutes or so, figure out a story that you can tell that relates to one of those things. I'm going to recount now that I got more students. Perfect. So I've got 12, so that means we got groups of 6. You find your own space. At the end of telling your stories, and if you want to take notes as this person tells your stories, guess who's going to tell your story, Davon? Who's your partner? Okay, guess who's going to tell your story?
We got more people.
So Elijah one. What was that main word we're trying to get at? Empathy. Okay? So we started off saying, who tells your story better than you? Well, we're about to see somebody actually tell your story just as well as you can, because in order for you to do that, guess what's going to have to happen? He's going to have to connect with you on a deeper level. He's going to have to empathize with everything that you're saying. So when it's all said and done and it's time to share out, he's going to tell your story and you're going to tell his. Okay? So if you guys want to stay there, you can stay there. Tyrese, do you have a partner? Do you want me to assign you a partner? I will assign you a partner. I love you dearly. Daniel, you'll work with Tyrese. Omar, you and Tim, great. Sorry, Samaya. Yep, I was going to say Destiny, you and TJ, Azaria and Samaya. Amber, you and Jalen are going to work together with your personal statement story, okay? So, I will give you guys about 10 minutes to tell your story. Teamwork makes the dream work. Okay, so I'll give you about 10 minutes. That's 5 minutes apiece. You're going to tell your story. You're going to let your partner tell his or her story. Feel free to take notes if you need to, whatever is going to get you to be able to connect enough so that you can tell the story and give it the validation and the heart that it requires, okay? All right, feel free. This is our classroom. So feel free to use your space wisely.
I'm going to get up.
Sure. You had me worried. I need your... We'll start now. You know why? Look, I didn't have your number. Otherwise, he wouldn't. I would have called you. Listen, you're working with Amber, so you and Amber are going to work together. And y'all paper, scissors, rock as to who's going to go first. If you need to revisit the prompts, anybody, I'm sorry. If you need to revisit the prompts, my computer is right here. You feel free to scroll up and scroll down as necessary. First of all, everybody wants to be over here. I say we go over there first of all.
Alright, so
But if you need to look, what I was going to do is I'll go first. And if you want to revisit the prompts, you can still revisit the prompts.
nah, I just go up to
Okay, we'll do that. All right, sugar plum.
Tonight.
All right, love. I'm gonna
No, you know
record
how
as
we
well.
are.
All right, you ready? Good. Okay. So I chose. So the prompt that I chose was about certain identifiers and the time that you realize about certain cultural identifiers. So remember, you're going to be telling my story. You should do the story justice. So I was about 17 years old at Wichita Mays High School, and it was my senior year in high school. And back in the day, they had this opportunity for seniors and juniors to do an internship program. It's called Enroll Atlanta. And I was excited about the opportunity. My counselor had presented to me because my brother had gone and actually taken part of that same interview. My brother's about 5 years my elder, but he had gone through the same process and ended up with a job. You know, everybody else was working in retail and fast food. They're in charge of all.
I did. So far, I did.
And meeting all these new people, so I had seen that, and I was like, cool, I'm gonna do what my brother did. So the time had come for me to do it, and I went to the beginning, like the orientation, everything was good, and then there was this like intensive